This is R.2 Checkup number 4, and the problem is we're given the function f of x equals negative x squared minus 2x minus 1, and what we need to do is find the difference quotient, which is f of x plus h minus f of x all over h. So the only part that really requires any amount of work is this part that I'm circling, the f of x plus h. So if I had just told you to do f of 5, you would know to take that 5 and plug it in wherever you see an x. And that's exactly what you're doing here, except it's a little more complicated because it is f of x plus h. So let's look at what that would be. It'd be negative x plus h. So when you're replacing x with something, generally you want to keep it in parentheses, especially if it's got two parts to it. Minus 2 times x plus h minus 1. Okay, that's the hard part right there. That's the f of, I'll circle it in pink, or underline it in pink, so we can see that these are the same. F of x plus h is this. So what's left is subtracting your function. So subtract the whole thing. And then there's nothing to do with the h, just put it over h. Alright, so we'll write it again. Oops, that's not what I want. New page. There we go. So what we have so far is f of, oops, back button isn't all that helpful. We already did that part. So we have negative x plus h squared minus 2 times x plus h minus 1 minus the function itself, which is x squared, negative x squared minus 2x minus 1 all over h. So all I've done is copy what we had on the previous page so we could see. X plus h squared is something that's real helpful to have memorized. So I'm going to keep the negative on the outside and go ahead and square that. It's x squared plus 2xh plus h squared. Next we need to distribute the negative 2 in here. So that would be minus 2x minus 2h minus 1. Then distribute the negative here, and that's plus x squared plus 2x and plus 1. So this is going to happen every time. You're going to have to change the sign on every single term in here because it's always going to be subtracting. That's part of the formula. And what's going to happen is there's going to be some canceling out. So let me finish distributing this negative. This negative won't always be there. It depends on the problem. Okay, so we can see the whole thing now. Plus x squared plus 2x. Oops, that's terrible. Plus 2x and plus 1 all over h. And we see that we've got an x squared and a negative x squared that'll cancel, a 1 and a negative 1, and a 2x and a negative 2x. And that'll always happen. All of these terms will cancel with an x squared, with a quadratic equation like this. But we can also see that now all of our terms have an h. So I can divide h out of each one. The one with h squared, we'll just take 1 out and we still have 1 left. And finally we get negative 2x minus h. That's all that's left. Oh, minus 2. You do a double check here. That's all I can see. I'll circle it. Here's what's left here, and here, and here. And you're done.